To start this demo, we're going to turn on our machine. We're going to make sure that our bearing surface is fresh and unscathed. And we're going to start with the competitor grease. So I'm going to start with Mobil 1. I'm just going to take a little bit of it on my stick here. Just kind of liberally apply it to the race. You don't have to get real scientific about it, just make sure that there's grease on that race. Now what we're going to be looking for is a torque wrench reading. We're going to give it measure our torque wrench reading when the machine stops. So we'll start with our first one. About 35 pounds. There again, about 35 pounds again. 35. So it looks like about 35 pounds is what we're getting. Now we're going to either turn our bearing or replace it with a new one to test our next product. And I will set this right by our Mobil 1 container so we remember where it came from. I'm going to put in a fresh bearing, or in some cases you may just want to turn the bearing over. Make sure you've got a fresh unscathed surface before you move on to the next product. And to clean the machine, all we need to do is just kind of wipe off that bearing surface and hit it with a little bit of brake cleaner. Just try to get all of that excess grease off of there before moving on to the next product. And we're clean enough to go on. So, our next product is Lucas Red and Tacky. This is probably the worst product in every regard that we tested. It's not very good stuff. So we'll go ahead and again apply that liberally to our race. And we're ready to demo it. About 35 pounds. About 35 pounds again. Around about 35 pounds again. And you're all right. So again, we're going to remove our bearing. Careful if you're using the same bearing over and over again, it's going to be hot. Don't just grab it. We're going to apply a new bearing with a fresh surface. And again, we're going to clean off the grease from our machine. So just kind of rub it off, hit it with some brake cleaner, make sure that all that excess is gone. Now we're going to move on to SS2000. So same process. We're just going to apply a liberal amount to the race. And then slowly apply your pressure. So there we're at 35 pounds where the other grease is locked up. 40, 45, 50, 55, and so on and so forth. You can really about stand on the torque wrench at this point. Now, the real proof is in the pudding when we start comparing the score marks on these bearings. And Lucas, this is the Lucas bearing. Here's ours, much smaller score mark and a lot more smooth. And then the Mobil 1 is probably the worst out of the bunch. So there again, what is a grease designed to do? Lubricate and prevent wear. Which of these three greases is going to do that the best? I'd say BG.